Jenna Wells didn't talk much, not because she didn't have anything to say, but because the world never gave her space to speak. She was the kind of girl you could forget was in the room. Pale, thin, with almond brown eyes always staring downward, and hair that often curtained her face, she was a shadow even in the daylight. Her oversized jackets and quiet footsteps turned her into a ghost haunting the hallways of Pinehurst High. But Jenna wasn't empty. She was an ocean of stories, characters, and color, trapped behind layers of silence. And her sketchbook, the one she never let go of, was the only place she was truly alive. That Monday morning started like most others. Jenna arrived early to avoid the morning rush, her sketchbook clutched tightly against her chest as she slid into her usual corner of the cafeteria. The room was still half empty, humming with sleepy chatter and the scent of cheap coffee. She opened to a fresh page and began drawing without thinking. Her pencil moved like a whisper, light strokes forming the outline of a girl wrapped in vines, her hands glowing with power. To anyone else, it was a simple sketch. To Jenna, it was a battle cry across the room. Amanda Blake, Pinehurst High's ruling cheerleader, tossed her golden curls and took a bite of her bagel as her eyes scanned the room for entertainment. Amanda was beautiful, but it was a sharp kind of beauty, the kind with edges. Her laugh was loud, designed to be heard, and her confidence dripped from her like perfume. She spotted Jenna, as she often did, and nudged her best friend Trina. "She's at it again," Amanda said, rolling her eyes. "Little mouse, girl scribbling her fairy freak drawings." Trina smirked. "I bet she's drawing all of us dying in some magical forest." Brad Tanner, the basketball team's star forward and Amanda's off again boyfriend, leaned over. "Creepy. Maybe we should help her join the real world." Amanda's lips curved into a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "You know what? That's not a bad idea." What happened next wasn't sudden. It was a slow, cruel unraveling. Amanda and her clique followed Jenna through the day, making jokes, whispering behind her back, flicking pencils at her during class. Jenna didn't react. She'd learned long ago that resistance only fed the fire. But Amanda wasn't satisfied with being ignored. By the end of the day, Amanda had a plan, one that involved revenge for a crime Jenna hadn't committed, just existing differently. It happened on Thursday. A storm had just passed, and the school was soaked in gray light and leftover rain. The final bell rang, and Jenna stayed late for art club, one of the only places she felt safe. She'd just finished packing her things when Amanda cornered her by the stairwell with Trina, Brad, and a couple of other seniors. "Hey, Mouse," Amanda called, her voice syrupy. "Got a second?" Jenna froze, holding her sketchbook tightly. "I need to go." Amanda blocked her path. "You're always running off. Why don't you stay a while? We just want to see what you're drawing." Jenna clutched her book tighter. "No thanks." Brad snatched it before she could blink. "Let's see what kind of freak show she's drawing this time." He flipped through the pages. There were knights and queens, dragons and angels. But in Jenna's hand, they looked alive, majestic, powerful. And many of them looked eerily like real students. There was a cheerleader breathing fire. A basketball player with a monster's face. The resemblance was unmistakable. Trina laughed.
"Oh my God, that's Amanda! And wait, is that me?"
Amanda's smile faded into something crueler. "So you've been mocking us all along." "It's just art," Jenna said quietly, eyes wide with panic. "It's not about you." But it was too late. Amanda snatched her wrist. "Let's teach our little artist how it feels to be someone else's canvas." They dragged her down the hallway to the empty drama room. It was near the auditorium and rarely used anymore. Jenna screamed once, but the thick doors muffled her voice. They tied her to a wooden chair with duct tape and rope from backstage props. Her arms were pinned to the armrests, her legs bound at the ankles. Her sketchbook lay discarded on the ground. Brad produced a pack of Sharpies from his backpack, black, red, blue. "Let's give her a real makeover," Amanda said. "No, stop. Please," Jenna cried, thrashing against the ropes. Her voice echoed, but no one came. They drew on her cheeks, across her forehead, down her neck, laughing as they scribbled words like F-rock And, Lossar, Amanda drew devil horns on her temples and fake tears beneath her eyes. Amanda said, stepping back. Now everyone can see what you really are. They left her there, tied up, smeared in ink and shame. The room went dark. Jenna sat still for a long time. Her breath shaky, chest rising and falling in shallow bursts. Her heart pounded with humiliation, but beneath it something else. Anger. Real, burning anger. She looked down at the sketchbook lying a few feet away on the floor. Open to the drawing of a girl wrapped in vines, hands glowing with energy. That girl wasn't crying. That girl wasn't broken. She was fighting. Jenna rocked the chair. It scraped the floor loudly. She twisted her wrists, ignoring the pain as the tape dug into her skin. It took almost an hour, but she eventually broke free. Her wrists were raw, her face stained with ink, but her spirit was unchained. She stood, walked over to the mirror backstage, stared at herself, at the words they'd written, and she smiled. But it wasn't a smile of surrender. It was a smile of defiance. She didn't go home right away. She went to the art room and scanned her best drawings into the computer. Then she stayed up all night at home, creating a digital series caricatures of Amanda, Brad, Trina, and the others. But these weren't mean sketches. They were brilliant, witty, satirical. Amanda was a hollow queen made of mirrors, obsessed with her own reflection. Brad was a giant jock with a balloon for a brain. Trina was a two-faced gossip monster with snake hair. Each character was more vivid than the last. She uploaded them to a USB drive and printed out 100 copies of each, thanks to her neighbor Mrs. Kitts, who ran a local print shop and owed her father a favor. By Monday morning, Jenna wasn't just ready, she was unstoppable. She arrived at school early and posted the drawings everywhere. On lockers, bulletin boards, in bathroom stalls, even on the cafeteria doors. She wore her hoodie low, avoiding attention, but her hands moved like lightning. By the time the first period bell rang, chaos had erupted. Students crowded the hallways, laughing, pointing, whispering. The art was stunning, and it was obvious who the targets were. Amanda stormed down the corridor, face beat red, tearing one off the wall. "W-t-ch-s," she screamed. Her voice echoed, but no one answered. Brad's caricature was hanging over his locker. He yanked it down and crumpled it, but more kept appearing. Trina's was in the girls' restroom, above every sink. "Find-DSR," Amanda barked to her crew. But Jenna wasn't hiding. She was sitting in her usual cafeteria corner, hoodie off, sketchbook out. Her arms were bandaged where the ropes had burned her skin, but her eyes, those soft brown eyes, were lit with fire. Amanda stormed over. "You think this is funny?" she shouted. Jenna looked up, calm, collected, unafraid. "I think justice usually is," she said. "You little. Touch me," Jenna said, standing, "and I'll show the entire school what else I can draw." Amanda hesitated. The people watching, the same ones who used to snicker at Jenna, weren't laughing now. They were silent, watching. And in that silence, Amanda turned away. For the first time, Jenna wasn't invisible. She was undeniable. The next week, everything changed. Jenna's drawing spread across social media. Students asked for commissions. Teachers invited her to decorate the library walls. She was offered a spot in a regional art contest. And most importantly, the administration launched a new anti-bullying campaign, featuring Jenna's art as the branding. Amanda's social stock crumbled. Her reputation, once unshakable, was now fragile. Some people still followed her, but fewer each day, and when she passed Jenna in the hall, she looked away. As for Jenna, she kept drawing, kept walking with her head high. She never sought revenge again, because she didn't need to. She had turned her pain into power, and for the first time in her life the world saw her, really saw her, not as a victim, not as a ghost, but as an artist, a force. And Jenna Wells, quiet girl with fire in her fingers, had rewritten her story, not with words, but with ink.